everybody? It's your girl Sam Shabazz, and we're on episode 4 of Sneaker Sunday, where we're keeping it fresh, where we're entertaining, educating, and keeping it inspirational. And today we are with my spirit animal, if I might say. He goes by the name of Mishaal, Gangaram. Some of you might know him, maybe some of you might not. But if you don't know him, let me fill you in just a little bit. Ever heard of Ganja Beats? Yes. So basically, he is the one that is the artist, the one behind the camera, the one that gets the concepts. He's the conceptual photographer of the crew. And we are sitting with him, and we're going to get a little bit about him today. Actually, not even a little bit. We're going to get a whole spoonful, a whole dish, a whole magazine. We're going in. Mishaal, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Nice to be here. Nice to be on this side of the camera as well.
Right?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think a little bit nervous, as I said previously. But yeah, I'm excited to like talk about a little bit about myself, tell the world a little bit more about my story. I think sometimes it's a bit tricky, and like creating art, people tend to not understand that. So sometimes giving a bit of perspective helps a lot.
Definitely.
Even though the art, I think, speaks for itself, but having a little bit of insight from the artist always is a great way to just get a little bit, to know a little bit more. Yeah.
Amazing, like totally, because what you're saying is very, very true, because some people might look at your art and think, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
and basically just reading up on you and also looking at your art, it's one of those things where it's like, guys, it's one thing to actually just look at someone's art and just judge, where you don't even know what went behind the art,
and
the art.
The hours that went into something, and the actual meaning behind something. And
exactly.
There's a difference, I think, between something looking aesthetic versus actually having a story.
Right.
And I think within this industry, it becomes like such a tricky thing, because chasing aesthetics and clout and all of that, and not like staying true to yourself as an artist, is such a tricky space.
Oh, I love that.
There's money involved, and there's work, and there's all of that, and I think it's important for me to always just stay true to like myself as an artist, and whatever I do, try and create an art form rather than it just being a single basic image, I guess. Yeah.
Mishaal, like, can you please just tell me a bit about like how I really am intrigued by how your family is so artistic, of course.
Yeah.
You've got the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You with the photography, you know what I mean? Can you just tell me a bit about that?
I actually have no idea. So both my brothers, Himal and Ashish, are members of Ganja Beats, and I was always just the little brother. They were making the music, they were doing the things.
So you were learning from him?
Like, not even like I don't even know where it came from. Like, I am by profession, I'm an electrical engineer.
Yes.
So I was in Cape Town.
How did the two even come together?
We'll get to that. And I think with my brothers, like, they would be in Joburg, and we're from Mafeking, which is a small town out of the northwest. So I used to come visit when I was in high school every now and again, and kind of get exposed to some of like the music live, or watch them in studio, but it was very brief. And then I moved to Cape Town, and I think my eyes opened a lot more.
Yeah.
I had like photography as a hobby in high school, but I never really took it seriously. I used to mess around. And then I started exploring a little bit more in Cape Town, but then I also just started learning more about myself. And I was studying engineering, and I loved it. I loved what I studied. I completed it, I got my honors, but when I finished, I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this, or I don't know if I want to do this yet. And that's when I kind of took the...
After how many years was this?
4 years, my honors, yeah. So spent 4 years there.
Isn't it the weirdest thing?
Yes, it's a crazy thing.
I'm sure your parents are like, excuse me?
Yeah. It's still kind of a chat we have, but I'm very grateful. They're very supportive now, and I think that has also come with a lot of my success
shout out to the parents.
And growth, and they've supported me from the beginning, so I'm very, very grateful for that.
Nice.
And I think I came back to Joburg, and I kind of joined in with my brothers and working alongside them, and then just building a team of my own. and I'm so grateful for the team that I've built now, and
Amazing.
I'm excited for the world to also meet them soon.
Of course, definitely, of course. If they don't know, they better get.
No, they'll know.
They better Google and get
they'll know.
knowing.
Yeah, no, completely.
I really like how you mentioned you went to Cape Town and your eyes got your eyes got open and all that. Can you please tell us a bit about Son of Midas?
Okay.
That name.
Okay,
Yes.
so wow, you started off with the deep questions already. So Son of Midas is a very special project to me. It's one of my defining projects and something that I hold very close to my heart. And Son of Midas I take as my alter ego as an artist.
Okay.
I've even got it tattooed on me right here.
Oh, nice.
And it's also the name of my company.
Okay, cool.
And as a collective, my team and I call ourselves the Children of Midas. But it's such a crazy story. So as a kid, I was always very fascinated by Midas and King Midas from Greek mythology. I don't know if you're familiar with the story. And I think, so his story is very people misunderstand his story, and he was actually very evil and selfish king. And so King Midas had trapped one of the god's disciples and had asked him to grant him a wish or a gift, and he would only release him if he he'll only release him if he gave him the gift. And this King Midas was very selfish, and he only wanted riches and wealth for himself. And he asked the disciple to give him the ability that anything he touches become gold. And so the disciple granted him that gift, and it was kind of that gift that was his own unraveling that led to his death. Because he touched his palace wall and the whole thing turned to gold. And he got all that wealth. Then he touched one of his servants and they turned to gold. And he scrammed and he called for his daughter and he touched her and she turned to gold. And then he tried to eat something and his servant fed him an apple and it turned to gold, and he broke his teeth and he ended up starving to death. And it was kind of that whole thing of his that selfish act. He was granted such an amazing gift. He could have solved poverty. He could have asked for anything for his people, but he asked for something for himself. And it was kind of that, taking that lesson or learning from that, and that idea of being granted this gift of turning something to gold, or even just in helping someone. But instead of taking that and using it for selfish reason, myself as embodying Son of Midas is someone who's not necessarily son, but someone who's learned from him.
Learn from him, yes.
And taken that lesson and using my gift and helping others become a version of gold for themselves, and helping them grow and helping them become this better version, and showing them that they're actually beautiful the way they are, and they should love themselves what they are and what they do. And that's a little bit of that story.
Oh wow, that actually had goosebumps.
And that's a big part of me, is just that helping people, empowering others, giving opportunity. I think Ricky said it. He's give young people an opportunity.
Of course.
And believe in them.
Of course.
And that's something that I carry so deeply within me. And I think something about the space as well that we're in right now, it's meant for growth. It's meant for people to come in to learn. And that's why I'm so big on helping others and helping others grow, because I never had that necessarily. I never had someone to mentor me in this shit.
Really?
I had to figure this shit out. I'm still figuring it out, but if I can help someone in any way, become better in their art, become better as themselves, then I've served my goal, and my art is then touch someone. So I get a bit emotional about this project. So
I know.
Yeah, it
I'm
gets
also
a little bit deep. But yeah, that kind of in a big thing sums up myself as an artist, and I guess some of my goals in the art space and what I aim to achieve out of this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd say your art, it's influenced mainly by the Greek methodology?
A little bit. I think I take inspiration from a lot of different things. I think just the essence of that story, but I do love Greek mythology. But my inspiration comes from I think a big part of my inspiration comes from mental health, actually. And that is a driving narrative. And I think my own experiences and helping others tell stories. I think that's the big thing for me, is as a photographer and as a visual artist, is to help people tell their stories. And that's what I aim to do with my art. And I think mental health is a very driving force of that, and really has been, my art's been a big outlet for me to talk about my own mental health. And I think prior to having this, I'd kind of bottled up everything, and then having the opportunity to create art from places of like darkness or emotion was an outlet. And even though I wouldn't talk about my mental health, I'd maybe talk about my art, and in essence, I'd be verbalizing a lot of my emotions. And
No, I feel you. I definitely feel you.
Yeah.
And because like we need more people like you, definitely.
Thank
you know
you.
what I mean? Because mental health issue it's a real thing, guys. Like for instance, and with Mishaal, as you know, as a person, as an advocate, I'd say I have tapped him as an advocate. People need to express themselves. They need to basically fly. They need to be butterflies. They need to see what they can be outside of what people deem them to be.
Completely. And I think within this industry, like, it's okay to be vulnerable. Like,
Exactly.
And I think that will help a lot of people. Like, this industry, it's cutthroat, and being vulnerable and just showing and being open about that can really go a long way.
Amazing. Amazing. And then like your upbringing, how's that influenced your art? Has that maybe, we know we spoke about how it was influenced by Greek, but like your upbringing and
so
your mental health?
I think coming from a small town and definitely influenced me a lot. I was like really introverted and shy as a kid, so I'd end up like spending a lot of time, like when I was learning photography, all I had was like a tripod, and I had no subject, so I used to take pictures of myself.
Oh, cool.
And also why I dubbed myself as a self-portraitist, and like I ended up taking a lot of self-portraits, pictures of myself in the backyard, experimenting, learning, and then I picked up that skill again in lockdown when I was alone again.
Amazing.
And I had no one to shoot, and that was actually what set my career off, because I started gaining traction. I just moved to Joburg, and then I was stuck in lockdown. No one to shoot. And literally no way to do what I came to Joburg to do. No way to like start off my career. And then I just started shooting myself, and then that gained traction, and people saw that and then started asking me to do things like that for them. But I was always like a math geek and science geek in school. So it's so wild that like now I'm in this type of space where I'm so expressive and I'm doing so many of this stuff. But I think like that side comes in, is that I'm like Photoshop and like in the digital world, I'm really like, that's where I work a lot. And I think coming from an engineering background really helped me like within the digital space is what I do. Like that's why lighting is what I took to.
I was about to ask,
I'm super technical as like a lighting tech. Like all my pictures are very lighting heavy.
Okay.
And that also comes from like my technical side of like engineering and
So engineering was one of the first thing you were like, okay, fine. When you're looking at the prospectus, you're like, okay, fine, I want to do this.
Yes. It was always, the thing is, it was never anything creative. Like I don't think I even blinked or considered it growing up. Like it was only like while I was studying and I was meeting other creatives and interacted, because also coming from a small town and like an Indian family, I don't think some of these things were never opportunities that I saw for myself, and I never like thought that could be my life. I never thought I could be a photographer. I never thought I could be an artist, and I guess I'm here now, but which I'm so grateful for.
Right? You guys, like your family, it's like you're just a group of engineers, sound engineering this side.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's always just engineers.
Yeah, no, completely.
It's like, so parents, you know what I mean? Engineers can also look like this.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
They don't have to wear suits only.
Yeah.
So don't let them fool you. Yes. And then just about your art. I know we spoke about your art and like your best art yet. Like what actually, and before we get there.
Okay.
Do you paint maybe?
So no, not really, but so actually for May, I'm actually exploring other mediums. So I have been trying a little bit and learning, and I'm surrounded by friends who are visual artists, and I kind of want to take a break from photography and kind of explore other mediums, so more directing and just kind of exploring other mediums within my art form and just being a little bit more physical with my art.
What do you mean be more physical?
So like working with prints, working with scanning, working with developing, and painting, drawing, anything that has to do with my hands. Because like I said, I'm too stuck at my computer. Like I shoot and then I'm editing.
Have you ever tried to paint?
I have. And
draw?
I've tried everything. But I think like I never gave myself the credit. And I always, I think, undermined myself. Because I was like, I'll never be good at this. I'll never be good at this. And I guess what I've realized with my career is that like if you put your mind to it, you can really do anything. And I've been winging all of this stuff the whole time as a photographer. So why don't I try it out in another medium and see what happens as well? Yeah. So. And
then also like with it's very like for instance how you just mentioned that you would tell yourself that, which is a lot of people's problems, where they tell themselves that it's not good enough, good enough, and then they end up not doing it. Yeah. So that first like photo that you actually shot and people are like, do you remember it?
To be honest, I think that was Son of Midas, and I think that was a big changing point in my career.
Is that the one with the
one we spoke about, the one over there,
with the eye,
there. And I think that picture caught a lot of attention. And like the weird thing was, or crazy thing, not weird, but I could feel the change. Like I created the image, and it was obviously filled with so much emotion that I'd mentioned previously. And when it came out, it was reciprocated so much like that. Like it was received by so many people. I got followed by some of my like people icons that I'd looked up to, and gotten praise from industry people that I never thought I would receive so early in my career.
Wow.
It's where the Boiti project came on, where I shot her album cover, was because of her seeing that. It's when Ricky reached out to me and gave me like praise, and that was a really big thing for me. And that was like my icon.
Wow.
And he's like, we need to work. And it was just like, and just so many other industry like people that I looked up to gave me so much praise after that first project came out. And that's why like now like I celebrate that, and like that's my alter ego. And we even like last year I had like a birthday party for my alter ego. We did a 1-year anniversary project. It's like I treat that as like my alter ego.
Nice.
And he deserves, the praise.
To be celebrated. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yes, people should actually celebrate their alter ego, because at the end of the day, it's that one, for lack of a better way to say, it's that person that that actually it's that person. It's who they actually are.
Yeah.
Funny enough, they say it's an alter ego, but it's actually who you really are.
Yeah, it's who I am in the art space.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's weird. Life
it's a different version of myself. Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
And then with all of this basically that you've shared, what is it that you'd like to achieve? I know you touched on mental health, especially, which is something serious, but like what would you like to achieve with your art?
So I think there's two sides of it. I guess the one side is building up with my team and I to kind of become like a production house.
Okay.
Doing a little bit of everything full on. So what I'm really enjoying now is I've shot tons of album covers, but I want to shoot your entire album rollout. Let me tell your story.
Yeah.
Like let me help bring that story to life and bring it the right way. Let's tell the world what you're actually trying to say with this project. And just working with my team, like doing everything from styling, makeup, shooting, directing, and just having that that's like the one side of it, like building that up and creating this little production house. We can just create these amazing visuals for lots of different people, a little bit of corporate stuff, get the money, do the things.
While we at it.
Yeah, and then I think the other side of it is moving away from even just the photography as a whole and just being an artist, but still as a photographer, but being recognized as an artist rather than just a photographer.
Yes.
And moving into the exhibition space. Because that for me is an end goal, like personally, is to be able to exhibit work and let them also be appreciated outside of just Instagram for aesthetics.
Yeah.
And let the story be appreciated for what the story is, rather than it just being looking aesthetic.
Exactly.
And being a pretty picture.
Exactly.
And I think being in the art space, exhibiting is a really big goal for me, and yeah, something that I will likely hope to achieve soon. Yeah.
Would you say, for instance, like with art being so dear to you,
Yeah.
for instance, I dance, right?
Yeah.
And with that, I remember this one lady when she saw me dancing in this other club, because I just go into another world when I'm dancing. So she comes up to me. She comes up to me and she's like, "Don't let anyone put a price on your dancing, because that's when you're just gonna stop not falling in love with it." Do you ever feel like that?
Like with the price tag on the work?
Yes, like putting a price tag on the work.
I don't know, like I've never...
Like you can, but...
I don't even know, because I've never even sold prints as yet. Like I've been asked tons of times and I just I don't know how to do it. If I do prints, I end up giving them as gifts, because I don't really know how to price that and value that. And I think, but that's where you get curators and people to do that. And I would just personally like it to be appreciated for the art that it is. And if someone sees value in it, then yeah.
This doesn't mean you have to, guys, now call Mishaal and exploit him. No, don't do that. Don't do that. We don't want that. No, let's not do that. And Mishaal, which brands have you actually worked with that you'd say that top 3 that have been your best?
Top 3 brands. Okay. GQ was a really big thing.
Yes.
So I did some work with GQ and Calvin Klein last year, where I shot a campaign for them.
Nice.
And that was the first time my work went into physical print, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a really big achievement for me, and shooting for GQ also was a beautiful, and Calvin Klein, I think, was really, really dope. And I really enjoyed that. Hype Mag, which is actually out here on the table.
Actually, yes.
So I've actually worked with Hype on a couple of stuff as well. And this is actually their recent issue with Sportscene that they just released. And I actually had a feature of myself in this one, which was pretty cool. This was a pretty big achievement for me as well.
No, this is dope.
And I think with Hype as well, I've worked, and I think was a really big achievement for me last year was with Nike. So Hype gave me the opportunity to shoot the Air Max Day campaign for Nike last year, which was a really big opportunity, and they gave me pretty much complete creative freedom. And I got to bring one of my personal projects into a Nike campaign.
Oh, amazing.
Which was such an amazing opportunity, and something that I hold really dear to me.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. This is amazing. I really am getting the chills from this, and just getting to know more about, because as people, we would look at art and would be like, whoa, what went behind this? And just to get a in-depth perspective of what went down and why and how come, it really is refreshing. It's very refreshing.
I love learning about other artists, so
right.
I literally study artists, I study their work, I study their workflow, and just kind of see how can I bring elements of that into my workflow. And so I love chatting to artists and having artist friends. You learn so much.
Right. I mean, how best can those that have experience in your industry inspire and motivate aspirational photographers?
I think, as I said earlier, is to give young people the opportunity and as many opportunities as possible. Creating space for young people, allowing them to learn, allowing them to ask questions, and I think people sometimes get to a level where they just don't want to give back, or they don't feel like they need to anymore, and I think giving back is a really big thing, and I think just creating that space in that room, and I think with my team and I think we've built quite a bit, and now when people come in, it doesn't also need to just be me that's giving the help, it's everyone.
Yes.
And in creating space, we've got more people. The more people you teach or that learn from you or that grow with you, the more people they can help. And it's the same idea with the Midas Touch, and I've actually created an Instagram filter kind of in line with that project, and
nice.
this idea of like if you help one person, they can help many
people.
And I created that Instagram filter in that same notion, is that like if you use the filter, someone else uses it, someone else, it spreads.
Nice.
And it's that idea of helping others and showing that spread.
Exactly, because it's actually when people, like you actually mentioned it before, that how you taught yourself everything, and then and it's actually very funny how the people that actually taught themselves, they're the ones that are most likely to actually help other people, and then those that actually have learned it from somewhere, they end up keeping that information to themselves, and it's like, but why? Why would you do that? Because like you're saying, let everybody have a piece of the pie.
Completely, and there's enough room and enough space for everyone.
Exactly.
To do these things.
We might have the same story, but it might not be the same.
Yeah, different ways of people telling those stories, and different perspectives and different narratives, and everyone,
Exactly, definitely. And then for someone that is actually watching this, and then they're thinking, oh my goodness, I want to be like Mishaal. How do you feel about that? Like, what would you say?
I'm still figuring this shit out. I don't know what I'm doing half the time.
You say it's been since, how many years has it been? Since lockdown, you said, right?
Yeah, since I moved to Joburg
2020, right?
2020, so
yes.
2 years and a bit now. Yeah, I've been doing this
It's amazing how life can just go.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you've got people saying, I want to be like him.
I still am figuring all of that out and getting used to that as well.
So what? You'd be like, I'm still figuring it out.
That's literally me. Like, I'm a panicker. I freak out. Like, I'm always just grateful to hear that someone is a fan of my work.
Nice.
And I'll always be open to conversations and ready to converse with anyone that appreciates my art. Anyone out there wanting to be like me, just chat to me. I don't know.
So you're open to it.
I'm open to conversations.
You're open to it.
Completely.
And have you had like young photographers, like basically who are still in varsity, that know you, maybe from your hometown even?
So not just from my hometown, but I guess a lot of the people that are in my team now, and so last year I also held like a workshop where I taught studio lighting, introduced people to the space, and like now I met one of my best friends now that I've known last year there, and now he's like with me every day as part of the team. And I always just create space for people to come in, and our team has kind of grown from letting people in that same notion, and getting people to then assist me on shoots, and I help them on shoots, and we just kind of grow together, and that's literally the vibes.
And that's the vibes. Let's just like inspire the youth a bit. Like, for instance, this whole chat has been inspiring in its own, but in its, not in its totality, but just that thing that people can take home, is that what would be that one inspirational thing that you'd actually want to share with the youth? And like, for instance, especially those, I know I keep touching back to mental health issue, because it is a big situation that people tend to look down on and think that, oh, you're weird, oh, you're being weird, you know what I mean? But like for youth, what would you say? Like, what would...
One thing I will say is just like, it's something that Zayd Osman always says, it's like your dreams are valid. And like, dream big, because manifesting things, it's a real thing. Some of this whole life, like, I think over the last 2 years I've manifested it and where I am now, and I'm just extremely grateful to have had all the opportunities I've had. And there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, but just believe in yourself as well, believe in your dreams. Don't be like, don't let your dreams kill you. Also, like, dream big, like, it's, anything can happen.
Right.
Literally, it's this industry, this world, like,
the sky's the limit.
Literally.
And beyond, actually.
and like I don't even know, like in the last 2 years, I never thought my life would be here. And I don't know what the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years has in store for me.
Exactly.
I don't know where my career is going to be, or where I'm going to be, and I kind of just let that be. I'm always just dreaming and manifesting what I want, but also just letting the universe be and take its wheel sometimes. And yeah, just put in the work, believe in yourself, and just be yourself as well. That's weird, be weird. Like, yeah, it really, like, I'm like crazy weird, and I have crazy fashion sense, and like I don't look like a typical
Crazy? What do you mean?
Yeah,
like, what do you mean? I think this looks cool. Like, what do you mean?
Indian boy. I guess even like in the community that I'm from, like I don't look like everybody else. I don't look like my family or like my cousins. Like, they don't dress like this. They don't have hair like this, and like they don't do their nails as guys, you know. But I think that's me, and I think embracing that. Over the last years, I've embraced myself so much more, and I think that's allowed my work to get bigger and myself. And yeah, coming into myself has been a big part of that journey.
Awesome, awesome stuff. Let's talk about some food.
Okay.
You know, let's just, you know, let's get the chills down a bit. You know, ooh, guys, it's
gotta be go. That's a deep chat. So.
Like that was deep. Like spine, like. Stuff like this. Let's talk about like food and music.
Okay.
What are you currently, when you actually working?
Yeah.
What do you play, or even alone? What music do you listen to?
Recently, Afrobeats.
Oh, nice.
Apple Music's Afrobeat playlist has been holding me down. That's been really my go-to, and Coffee's new album, it's just reggae, but insane. That's kind of just been holding my mental space together lately over the last like 3 weeks. It's been so much work. But that's what's been keeping me in a good mood, keeping me jiving. And yeah, that's my current playlist right now.
Oh, perfect. And like for instance, like, how can I put it? Your top 3 playlists, or rather, let me say artists, or go-to songs that when you're working that you actually say, I have to start with this one, or do you just hoy it?
I think I just hoy it.
You just hoy it. Okay. You just know that, okay, fine, I want to play Afrobeats.
Yeah.
So let's just
and a little bit of early 2000s music, so it keeps me in the mood.
Okay.
I think in the morning when I'm getting ready, some early 2000s, dancing around in the kitchen in my top. It's a vibe. Yeah. That I think is a nice way to start the day.
Nice. And then just going back to food and the food part. Yeah. What do you like eating? What do photographers like eating?
I think we're just normal people. We're not any different. We like food. Even here at the studio, we eat a lot. Everyone here likes food. We have a little kitchenette. We end up cooking meals in there. We have an air fryer and a George Foreman, and we just make meals sometimes.
Do you ever get like artistic with the food?
So yes and no. Here, not so much, but I love cooking.
Okay.
So I think coming from an Indian family, my mom, like, she's an amazing cook. And before I left the house, like, I was always like interested in food, but I asked my mom to teach me like how to make everything. So like Western dishes, Indian dishes, everything. And yeah, so she taught me. So even in Cape Town, like, I was the little mom of the group that used to cook for my friends and I.
Really?
And I think now I still cook a little bit. This guy, this guy can attest. I cook for everyone a little bit here and there. But yeah, so I enjoy cooking. My go-to food at the moment has been like Asian food, like Japanese food, Korean food. Been really loving that. Noodles, but the nice ones.
Like, of course, not the Maggie.
Not Maggie, please, not
Sorry.
Don't put the disrespect. Dumplings. Baos. A lot of that I've been enjoying lately. Yeah.
Do you like your Asian food like hot?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, definitely.
Because I'm from Durban originally, but from the South Coast, Portcheston.
Yeah.
Hello, hi guys. Yes. And of course, every time people say, "Oh, you should be like used to this stuff," and I'm like,
"Are you not used to it?" disappointing me.
No, wait.
Okay,
No, I love it. I
Okay.
do. The bunny chow, for instance.
Yes.
I really love it. But it mustn't be too hot.
Okay.
I
No, it
must,
mustn't
be too hot. I
Yeah.
mustn't cry. I must actually taste
The
food.
Okay.
Like, I really go crazy with the spices. I know. And my
Yeah.
husband sometimes
Yeah.
would
But too much
eat,
sometimes.
like,
Yeah.
but like, you're going to eat it.
Yeah.
Like it or not.
Yeah. Nice.
It is nice. But he's not a complainer, so it's good.
Okay, that's good. That's good. As long as he's not complaining.
I'm not saying that I make bad food.
Yeah.
Okay. So, please.
We don't know. He just doesn't complain. So
I am from the South Coast. I make good food.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. But yeah, I like my food spicy. I think-
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And then your go-to snack. Did you mention it?
No, I didn't. What is my go-to snack? I don't even know. I don't even know what I snack on. Yo, we eat such random things here sometimes. Like popcorn and sugar. I don't actually snack that much.
Really?
I'm trying to think.
Like, do you find that, like, for instance, your friends, like, in studio would be like, you need to eat.
Yeah, all the time. Because when I'm shooting, I have a bad habit of not eating.
Oh, because you're like so like
Stressed.
entrenched and then you're
Stressed.
right in there and you're like,
Yeah.
I need to make this work.
Yeah, no, I'm bad at snacking. Like if there's snacks and someone's eating a snack, I'll be like, ooh, can I have some? But I
Okay.
won't like go out of my way to like
Yeah.
have a snack and make a snack. Like I enjoy having a proper meal and then being good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
And then, for instance, as a visual photographer, I'm sure you've got some other, possibly like other visual photographers that you look up to.
Yeah, definitely. I think I look up to a lot of guys, and I think, like I said, I like to study other people's
Yes.
work and learn from them. And yeah, there's tons of people that like,
Give me. I know I like saying top 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
so
top 3.
There's like on a local level, Travis Owen has been a big inspiration to me. He's an amazing photographer, and his like visual style has definitely been a big inspiration to some of my earlier works. And yeah, internationally, there is this photographer called Nick Fancher. He's also a very like specialized lighting technician, photographer, and like 2 years ago, I think I'd gotten 2 of his books. I think during lockdown, and I studied them quite intensely, and that helped mold my style very much. And I think just learning from him and seeing how he worked, and he had some workshops online. And I always like try and continually like teach myself things and new skills. I think learning is a really big important thing to me.
It is.
I've always loved studying. I think also like I enjoyed like school. I used to do quite well, and like I can sit and study even at uni. Like it's also why I enjoyed engineering. Like it was quite intense, but I like to sit down and study and learn new things. And I think also why I did pretty well at it was because of that ability for myself. And yeah, I think Nick Fancher has been a big inspiration. And there's this artist called Chogi Suk, and their work is very inspirational, super conceptual. Yeah, there's so many more, but yeah.
Where's Chogi Suk for?
I'm not even sure.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
We will definitely look that up.
Yeah.
Because the name itself sounds like,
Yeah.
let's check them out.
We'll check them out.
Yeah, let's check them out, definitely. No, awesome stuff. And then like, of course,
Korea. This guy's telling me this Chogi's from Korea.
there we I thought as much. I wanted to, but I didn't want to shoot myself in the face.
Yeah, no.
Because it did sound like
Thank you, Sky.
the voice came from the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then, of course, we are here at Sneaker Sunday, of course. And we have to touch on, of course, like your Sneaker Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
So like what I wear on a Sunday.
No, basically, like, what is your favorite sneaker?
Okay. Yeah. What is my favorite sneaker at the moment? Funny enough, the shoe that I wear the most right now are my Crocs.
Really?
It's because I'm at work all the time, and it's the easiest thing. And sometimes when we're shooting, like sometimes I need to take my shoes off, sometimes I need to run, and it's literally the easiest thing. So I've got my Crocs with all my little gibbets, and that is my go-to sneaker, or shoe, whatever you want to call it. Maybe not the most aesthetic, and maybe not everyone's favorite thing, but that is literally my comfort and my home. Yeah,
But you've checked out those new ones, like for instance, I think Shelf Life had them with
the chappy ones.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no. So I've got like with all the gibbets and
Right.
everything.
Yes.
Like top tier.
I was like, when I saw that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Crocs.
I'm here for Crocs.
Like,
I love
okay.
them.
You
I love
turn it up a notch.
Yeah.
All right.
But other than that, like I think these Dunk Syracuse, these orange ones that I'm wearing now, one of my faves. I've got the Air Jordan 1 Low Pollens, Golf Le Fleurs. I've got like 4 pairs of Golf Le Fleurs.
Nice.
I'm a very big Tyler fan, so definitely had a cop. So I've got 2 Gianos and then a high top and one of the 1 stars. Definitely heavily in my rotation. And boots, like boots this winter, some formal shoes, loafers. I've been in the rotation lately. I think just upping the style a little bit, coming into that style. I think the hair gives me a bit of a flair, so just bringing it in like in the rest of my wardrobe as well sometimes. Wearing like some formal shoes and some formal wear. I love a nice open shirt. I love to show my tattoo a lot.
Even in winter.
Yeah, even in winter, just a little bit. People gotta know. So yeah, I add a little bit of flair with some formal shoes, some loafers.
You'll brave the
hair
cold.
Blowing in the wind.
Let's go for it.
You gotta show the hair and the earrings and all the accessories. Those are some of my favorite sneakers.
Nice.
Or shoes.
And like, just out of interest, like, where do you actually go out, like, for a good time?
It's been a while. I'll say that.
I know. Actually, funny enough, because of like lockdown, people don't necessarily go out. Well, maybe.
No, people go out. Trust me.
They do. I was about to be like, people are gonna look at me like, but like,
some of my favorite parties, like parties that my friends throw, or like Ibu Nandini, backyard. I mean, even just like going out with some of my artist friends, because I'm pretty close. I work very closely with music artists, so going out with them and just jumping between performances as well is also a vibe. And so like I end up going out with Mani Badu a lot, because her and I are really close. So Hallmark House is also one of my new favorite spots. I really enjoy Hallmark House. I've been having a good time there. Wherever the vibes are at, wherever the industry's at, I guess. Amazing. That's where you'll find me.
And just one more question, actually, I would like to ask. For instance, Tyler the Creator. What do you think of him?
I'm a big Tyler fanboy. Like, I've loved seeing his progression from being like super hardcore to like Scumfuck Flower Boy, which is one of my favorite projects, which is like a lot more softer, and you get to see like more subtle side of him. And definitely a big style icon. I love him, love his vibe, love his music. Definitely, I've got some Golf Le Fleur merch, and one of my favorite items is this Scumfuck Flower Boy merch shirt that I have. Literally one of my favorite shirts in my wardrobe.
I like, for instance, the reason why I even mentioned, because I heard you speak about him, and also as you were speaking in me, I was like, you know what, I'm just putting it out there that Louis Vuitton, Mishaal, Gangaram, hello, call him, hi.
You need to get the calls from the big
let's do something, hey, call him, you know what I mean? So I'm just putting it out there. So when you get this call, don't forget this day.
I'm gonna call you first.
Don't forget this day.
It's on table, so we got it on record.
Right.
I have to call you first. Thank you so much.
Definitely. That's how we do. Mishaal, thank you so much. So much. I know it's been a wow. It's been like, I mean, a spoonful, if I could say, possibly.
I hope you enjoyed the chats that I had.
No, I definitely did. It's been like one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness, so inspiring to actually hear, and so uplifting. And I hope that everybody else that basically has had a chance to get to know who Mishaal is, and his inspiration and his work, actually can go out and also do best at what they need to do, and actually live their true self. And their alter ego is not necessarily a weird thing. No, it is who you are. It's something that you need. You can feed off and be. So here at Sneaker Sunday, it's Sam Shabazz, and I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.